In this video I'm just going to be making some lead ammunition and also trying to give you some tips and tricks on shooting a slingshot. Initially I'm just removing the slag off of the lead that's been melted. The slag is a layer that is formed at the top of the lead, which is basically the impurities, so you need to clear that out of the way just to get nice clean lead to be able to make your ammunition.
So let's just a quick look at a couple of different slingshots. This one here is set up with pins. I've got a pseudo taper band set on there, which is basically, rather than double tubes, it's double so far and then goes into a single. It's pulled through the hole there and then secured in place with pins. This one here is a Bill Hayes sniper. I think it's a sniper, but this kind of slingshot is can be set up for a multiple ways of shooting. So you can have it so with either tubes or flat bands. You can have it so over the top, so the bands or tubes come over the top here and then they're attached in place, so the rubber comes and sort of comes over the top there. I prefer TTF shooting. I just find it more comfortable for me. I find it, the most natural way, I suppose, because I'm used to using a bow and shooting a rifle. I just find it the most comfortable way for me to sight. It's one of those things that you need to find what's best for you, really. I can't say to you, this is the best way of shooting, because it's one of those things you've got to, like a lot of things, I couldn't say XYZ knife is the best knife for you, because it's personal preference a lot of the time. This, you can also have flat bands over the top. Generally flat bands, most people find them easier to shoot. This is a ballistics nylon, this one's made out of. This one here, which was made for me by my good friend Tony Standish, you might see that the handle here is off centre, and that's just because it was made to suit the way that I shoot a slingshot. Tony has been a massive help to me. He's a big part of the slingshot community. He's a member of the UKCA on Facebook. If you go onto the Facebook groups online, some really good information there. Great guys, people like Tony. Tony's nicknamed by the Professor by a lot of people because he does a lot of testing, with speeds, etc. And he's just a very helpful guy. And he's a good friend of mine. He made me this one, but this one as well can be shot. So this would be classed as over through the fork, or you could go TTF again. This is set up with tube slots, so you literally just, I'm not going to remove it, but you literally generally maybe a bit of saliva on here just to lubricate it a little bit. You pull this tight and then you can pull that out of the tube slot, so it makes it really quick and easy to change your bands. So with when you're shooting, just going to try and give you a few tips on things that were told to me and just help you improve your shooting. In that you want to make sure that your bands are lined up, as in they're on top of each other. So if you see like this, if I move them in a TTF configuration, so those bands there are on top of each other. If you see there, this top band is to the left, the bottom band's right. So your piece of ammunition is not going to fly straight. In that sense, another thing that you need to try and do is make sure that you keep your sling straight vertical this way. So I'm not sure if that is vertical on the screen because I'm not holding it as I generally would. But you want to try and keep this up, because if you're tilting forward or you're tilting with, forward with your too much thumb pressure, too much finger pressure, that in itself can mean that your bands don't stretch evenly. So if you look like that, this band is stretching more than this. So this one you're going to travel faster than this one, which will make your shot come fire at an upwards angle in the same way that if you aiming down, you know, you're pulling like this, your shot is going to come and it's going to shoot down. And yeah, it's one of them things you've got to find what works for you really. I find that with my bands, with my pouch, what I do is I put the rough side of the leather on the outside, just because it gives you a bit more traction on your fingers. Even if you have greasy fingers, you still get a good traction, opposed to the shiny side. Again, personal preference. And an anchor point. So with myself, I will pull band straight. I will pull to there, and that's my anchor point. I will sight down the band and use this top corner here to, you know, that is my reference point for what I'm aiming at. And it's just practice. With the target that I had set up, that was the only target I had up here. This is one that I leave in the woods up here, because anyone that comes up that does have a slingshot, I will try and sort of help them out, just improve their shooting. There's no shame in having a big target, you know, you can always move to a smaller target. If you're going to hunt, then realistically you need to be able to hit the bottom of a Coke can consistently. So you know, realistically a minimum of 7 out of 10 shots you need to be able to hit the bottom of the Coke can. If not, realistically you're not ready to hunt. Also, in the same sense, if you're going to hunt game, you need to be prepared that sometimes you don't get a perfect shot, sometimes it's not a perfect headshot, and sometimes you do need to go over and finish the job. You know, you will need to go and snap a rabbit's neck, snap a pheasant's neck, etc. So it's something to be mindful of. You know, I'm all for hunting. I love hunting. I love, you know, being able to eat something that I've hunted myself, that's lived a free life, rather than something that's, you know, not necessarily live the best life in a commercially farmed environment. Yeah, and I think that's about it, guys. So like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hope some of you might have found this helpful. Thank you.